Coming up, it's a very special edition of Don't Panic. On this week's show, we go back and look at our favorite picks from 2014. It's a great episode that covers a lot of ground, so stick around, because it's coming up next. Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Don't Panic. I'm Sean Jennings, not joined by Dan Miller and Colby Rabideau because we're letting them spend time with their families for the holidays. That's right, we're recording this on December 29th, which is kind of that awkward time between Christmas and New Year's. So instead of doing a new live episode where there really isn't any tech news, we decided to go back and bring forth some of our favorite picks from 2014. So myself, Dan, and Colby each came up with 3 of our favorite items that we picked on the show in 2014, and we're going to show you some of them tonight in case you missed them. I'm next to my Yule log fire here, a little lighted garland, enjoying the holiday season. And we appreciate you being here with us. Our website, don'tpanic.io. We do this show every Monday night, usually live, except for special editions like this. And we appreciate you joining us there as well. Why don't we get started with our first pick? And we're going to do these in chronological order. This pick goes all the way back to last January, about a year ago. This pick came from me. It's a website called Jazz and Rain. It's kind of a fun idea that combines 2 interesting things you don't think would work, but work quite well. So let's take a look from our 30th episode. Wow, going back a ways. This is Jazz and Rain.
I'm excited about this pick, actually. I found this from a great Lifehacker article. It's a new website. How many of you like relaxing music? Right? Something nice to play in the background, no vocals. I'm a big proponent of ragtime. Is great to listen to in the background.
Sean Jennings. You heard it here, folks. Ragtime is
It is. I turn on ragtime when I'm in the shower. It's great, and you just okay. So, what are some of the 2 most kind of relaxing background sounds? Jazz music and the sound of rain falling. Right. I love those 2 things. But some brilliant
Personally,
person,
I think it's a blender turning off and on again as someone like chops up some stuff in a blender. That's super relaxing. I'm being sarcastic.
Okay, I was gonna say that
was the least relaxing thing I could think of off the top of my head.
So what's wonderful is some brilliant person out there decided to do what I couldn't think of doing and combine those 2 things in the best website I've ever seen, and that's called jazzandrain.com. Because I can't do screen sharing, because my computer is awful, I'll show you. Jazzandrain.com. It's a very simple site, and it does work on your mobile device on their site. And it does exactly what the website says. It plays jazz music and rain music. So let me turn on the rain here. Here we go. Can you hear that?
I can hear the rain.
Okay.
I don't hear any jazz.
Well, I haven't turned the jazz on, so you can alternate them. So let me.
I'm not sure that's jazz, but I'll let it slide.
Well, they kind of have a preset list of jazz songs. And some are. And what's great is you can individually adjust the volume of each element. So there's a little slider here. I can't really do this, but I'm going to turn down the rain a little bit. Why isn't the rain turning down? This normally works. But you get the idea. It's just jazz music and rain. That's the whole thing.
I like it.
It's wonderful, and like I said, you can, just do one or the other, or play them both together. And it's just an awesome thing to just let play in the background. And I swear, I lay there with my eyes closed and my headphones in, and I'm just like, this is the best moment of my life. So I really recommend just turn off the lights and just. It's wonderful. Jazzandrain.com. I highly recommend it. And it's brand new. It just came out like 2 weeks ago, so I know they're always updating it to be better. But and what a great idea. So I love it. So jazzandrain.com. Bookmark it. It's wonderful.
Excellent. Great pick, Jazz and Rain. Let's continue on with the Pick Fest. We're going to move on to Dan Miller, who picked a book by Bryan Sanderson called The Way of Kings, all the way back on March 24th on our 39th episode. Another fantastic fantasy epic. Let's go to Dan for his pick.
Did I recommend Name of the Wind some time ago?
We talked about it, yeah.
Maybe. So there's this guy named Patrick Rothfuss, and he wrote 2 really good books, and the third one isn't out yet. Luckily, in his blog, which highly recommended, that's my other pick, blog.patrickrothfuss.com. It's hilarious. He describes interactions with his child and things. Patrick Rothfuss can tell any story and make you 100% engrossed in it. But through him, I found out about his professional friend Brandon Sanderson, who is, I guess, best known for finishing Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series, which I have not read. But he did write this book called The Way of Kings, which is his magnum opus trilogy. Yeah.
Holy book.
Yeah, if you want to be reading a book for a couple weeks solid, this is the book. It starts off a little bit slow, but if you're into the epic fantasy of Tolkien and Patrick Rothfuss, then that highly recommended. Lots of crazy things happen. It's really well told. It's a story that's well crafted. He has also written a bunch of other books. The Mistborn trilogy is what most people recommend you read when you start reading his stuff. It's a little young adult, so I don't know. I liked it. I've been trying to I've been trying to read everything he's ever written. So that's been my goal for the next couple months. Unlike Patrick Rothfuss and George Martin, he publishes 2 books a year, so he might even get ahead of me. But read the Mistborn trilogy, read Alloy of Law, which is this new trilogy he started, which is kind of like Firefly meets magic. So it's like cowboys who can do magic and solve crimes. It was so much fun. Yeah, it was awesome. It was
That's
just
the best
like what
pitch
you
I've ever
expect.
heard.
Yeah, it was great. Now I'm reading Elantris, which is about this city that had all godlike people in it, but now they're all zombies. How did that happen? So on one hand, fantasy is it's not the most hard-hitting of literature. I even had someone try to tell me that it isn't literature at all, but any author can tell any story, and if they're a good author, make you really care about it. Like Terry Pratchett and his gnomes that are stuck in the warehouse are a perfect example of that. And Brandon Sanderson could tell any story, and I would want to read it. Hopefully he starts a blog where he talks about the drawings that his kid is making, because I would read that too. So The Way of Kings, Brandon Sanderson is my pick for this week.
Nice. It's good. It's good. We get people reading. Which is good. People should do that more. So
yeah.
And that one will take you a while. So
yeah, and then there's a sequel to this that just came out called Words of Radiance.
Do they deliver that on a flatbed?
Just as thick. No, deliver it on the Kindle, and then my Kindle doesn't weigh anymore after it receives it. Thank goodness.
I was about to say, yeah, that's a perfect book for Kindle.
Yeah. Yep.
And another great pick from Dan. One of the great things I love about this show is our picks very rarely have to do with technology. We tend to pick everything from books and movies to mattresses and watches and everything in between. So you never know what you're going to get when it comes to the pick. So thank you, Dan. Next up, we're going to go to another Dan pick. This was his number 1 pick of the year. And a fun fact, as far as I know, the only item that's been picked twice by 2 hosts on 2 different occasions. Dan and Colby both picked this. We're going to play Dan's review of it. It is Last of Us on the PS4, picked in our 40th episode back on March 31st. So here's Dan with The Last of Us.
So last weekend, it was also Arduino Day last Saturday, so I was doing some Arduino stuff, and then I realized I needed Windows. So I went on our the Windows site, and I downloaded the thing because I can get a CD key from the Student Alliance thing. So I started the download, and then I was like, you know what? I bought used this game called Last of Us back in October, and I haven't played it yet. So maybe I'll start that. This is going to take like an hour to download. I'll start that while I'm waiting for this to happen. Then like 2 days passed, and I finished the game. Oh my gosh! Can I share my screen?
Yeah,
and
through Skype you can. It's in.
Okay, yeah, I know I can, but will it show up on your?
Yes, it will.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. It's probably going to end up being a really laggy video, but at least you'll have something to stare at, and you can see yourselves too. Is that true right now?
Whoa! I can see you and your screen. Nope, I can't. I can't see your screen at all.
Let's try this one more time. Share screen. Only share window. Share that one. Nope. All right. Anyways,
Spinning.
here. Whee! See the video?
The frame rate is non-existent.
All right, whatever. So, anyways, so Last of Us is this game. How do I get back to Skype? Skype, come back to me.
Here, you know what I'll do?
I don't even have my Skype window anymore. All right.
I might be able to do it on my computer. So you keep talking, and I'll try and pull up some of that sweet game footage.
All right. Sorry. Bear with me. Okay. So anyways, it's this game. It's a linear game. There are no real choices that you have. But when I finished this game, I felt like the exact way I felt after I finished some of the best books and watched some of the best movies that I have ever watched. It's that feeling where, like, you stop, it ends, and you're like, oh my god, that was amazing. And then immediately you're, like, the rest of your day and the following days, you're just thinking about the entirety of what you experienced and what it meant and all of the things in it. And so Last of Us is this zombie apocalypse game, really. It's just like every other zombie apocalypse story, movie, or game you've ever played. There's a father figure, there's a daughter figure, and there are zombies, and you blow their heads off. What's amazing about this game is that the character development between the father and the daughter figure is incredible, and the graphics are mind-blowingly good, and it's only a PS3 game. It's not even a PS4 game. The levels are terrifying, but not like gory terrifying, but just in this like psychological way. There's one scene where you enter into this this sewer system, and it turns out that this sewer held like a post-apocalyptic society for a while, and you're like moving through nurseries. But you know there are zombies in there because there aren't any people anymore. So, you know, what do the people do? Oh, they turn into zombies, of course. And, you know, that was terrifying, but not in like a blood and guts kind of way, but in a purely cerebral way. But the storyline, like, I can't say anything without giving anything away. But I thought Mass Effect 2 was the best game I'd ever played, but this one is way better than Mass Effect 2. Yeah, I don't even know what else to say. And the game on its own, just like the stealth mechanics and the different kind of zombies that you have to get past and all the different weapons and the additions you can put on them, that alone makes it. It's split into these chapters, one for each season of the year the story takes place over. So there's like weather and hunting and all of this, you know, all the things that you'd think would happen when a society goes post-apocalyptic. Like, there's all these little subcultures in each city because they're totally separated from one another. It was really good. It was somewhat life-changing in the way a good book can be life-changing. The ending was so poignant. It really makes you think. It reminded me a lot of No Country for Old Men. It was the first thing I thought of when it ended. But I won't say anything more.
Yeah, I've got I did get the game footage streaming on the feed, and yeah, it looks really good. I've always been a proponent of games that do story properly.
Yeah. And, like, yeah, the characters are just so good. And there are minor characters that come in and out that are just as compelling. There's all these backstories. You pick up these notes and you read about, you know, this guy who just met life and all the things that happened to him. And the mark of a good story is that you immediately care about this person. They don't even exist. You've barely even met them in the game, and you're like, oh, I feel where this person is coming from here. Now I know why he's such an asshole, you know? Yeah. It's highly recommended. I would get a PS3 just to play that, especially now that they're probably really cheap.
Now, what is it available on?
Only PS3. It's a PlayStation exclusive.
Okay.
They came out, there was a story recently that's coming to PS4, though. So maybe you would wait for that if you're interested in other games, but yeah. Really good, totally cinematic. They should make a movie out of it. I hope they do. I'd be really interested to watch it.
Yeah, right now we're looking at the what I think is that apocalyptic society stuff you were talking about, and yeah, that looks great. That's cool.
Yeah.
Neat. All right.
Then, like, the first time you see the electricity turn back on, you're like, oh my god, this is amazing. We have lights and they're lit up and the generator's running. And, you know, I felt so happy for them in that moment because I hadn't seen electricity in like 18 hours in this game. And then it was back. It was like, it's happening. And of course, the game keeps going. But it fills you with those emotions.
It says a lot that you're that invested in the characters. So that's wonderful. Very good. Thank you, Dan, for the pick of The Last of Us. I have to say things are getting a little hot next to the fire here, but we'll keep going with our picks from 2014. Up next is a pick from Colby. One of the great things, we're all involved in podcasting, but we pretty much all started as listeners and fans of other shows. And from time to time, we like to talk about the shows we like to listen to. Colby had an opportunity to talk about one of his favorite shows, The Gist from Slate. And here he is talking about why he enjoys The Gist so much. So let's take a listen. Tell me more.
Yeah, so I don't remember how this happened, but like a week ago I was listening to one podcast that suggested another podcast. So usually when the podcasts I like suggest other podcasts, I give them a try just cuz. So the one I started listening to is called The Gist from Slate. And it's a daily podcast, which is kind of cool. It's usually like 20 minutes or half an hour. And it's just about it's usually some current event mixed with some story, and the guy, and also the guy enjoys taking a story in the news or people's responses on Twitter to a story in the news and picking them apart and saying how stupid and ridiculous the story and or the responses to it are, which I thoroughly enjoy. He's pretty funny. He actually reminds me a lot of Sean, if any of you watch Don't Panic, for Sean's witty commentary. So imagine if Sean did a story by himself on the news and made fun of people. That's what it would be like.
That sounds like a great show.
Yeah, it's called The Gist, from Slate.com or Slate Magazine. Is Slate a magazine?
It's both. I don't know if it's still a magazine. You're right. It was at one point.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's cool. I like that it's daily because I always have a podcast to listen to on the way home, which is not normal. My normal podcast routine is that 2 or 3 of the ones I listen to are generally released on Sunday night, so I listen to those on Monday, and then a couple others get released on Wednesday or Thursday usually. So I have some later in the week. But the in between, it's nice. It's nice in between. I usually just listen to music, but it's nice to have this to break things up.
Great job. That's love supporting other podcasts as well here on Don't Panic. Coming up, our next pick of the year is probably, I think, the largest we've had in terms of sheer size. And it would be a pick I made back in September 15th on our 63rd show for Casper Mattress, the mattress you order on the internet. It was something I was very excited about at the time, continue to be to this day. And I know Dan is also getting a Casper mattress, so in 2015 we'll have to hear how he enjoys his. But for now, we'll take a listen to my review of the Casper mattress. And my pick this week is, well, it's big and it's important, and it would be your mattress, right? So you spend every night on it, and it's kind of a big deal, right? You spend like half your life on your mattress.
Don't assume.
Gee, Dan, where are you spending your nights? But you spend a lot of time there, and a mattress is important. So the mattress I've been sleeping on was an innerspring mattress that was over 10 years old and really needed to be replaced. Seen better days, queen size bed. So I decided to start looking for mattresses, and I thought, we're always talking here about Kickstarter and startups and new ideas, and I said, what if I did that with my mattress? So I found a company called Casper, and it's CasperSleep.com. Is that right? CasperSleep.com. And it is a mattress startup. So before you say, well, Sean, that sounds really sketchy. Why are you ordering a mattress from some company no one's ever heard of? The team at Casper is filled with NASA scientists and product experts and a really strong team. So, I'll just walk you through. The real highlights of Casper here is that it is a foam latex combo mattress that they claim finds the perfect amount of firmness for your average person. That's a proprietary formula only Casper can do. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's a no-frills mattress. And one of the kind of biggest things about the mattress is the price, actually. The price is actually very reasonable. So, for example, a foam latex combo mattress from a Tempur-Pedic or a company like that in a queen size could easily run you $1,200. Casper sells theirs for $850. So it's a noticeable price difference. So I took the risk, and I'm going to put up here some photo here on the screen. What is going on?
They have a showroom in New York City. Continuing the trend I've noticed of online retailers having physical presences in New York, Warby Parker, several others.
Yeah, they also have a mattress in a truck. They drive around New York City, and you can get in the mattress in the truck, which is much less sketchy than it sounds, I assure you. It is nice, and it's for you to try out. So for those of you watching the video up here, this is a picture of the box it came in. So they deliver it UPS to your house. It's a 60-pound package for the queen size, and it's about a little under 5 feet tall. It's a big-ass box in cardboard, and they send it to your house. You cut it open, and like foam does, it expands out to, it's cool. You cut it open and it inflates and it expands out to queen size. And here's how it looked after I had done and put it on the frame. And I've had it now for about a week, and I've been sleeping on it. So are you ready for the verdict?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. The verdict is that I'm not the person to recommend what mattress you should buy, because everyone is different. No, and I seriously mean that. Don't let anyone tell you what mattress to buy. You can take in thoughts and opinions, but really every individual is different. And mattresses, do you firm, soft, this, that, the other thing. I can only speak for my experience, and that would be so far so good. I do agree. I do believe it is the right amount of firmness. I've laid on Tempur-Pedics before. They're very stiff and very firm. These guys did a really great job of finding that balance. The other thing Casper's really big into is because it's foam and latex, the problem with just foam is it retains heat and you get hot laying on it. Because they bring in the latex, I have found that is not a problem at all. I've stayed perfectly cool, hasn't been an issue. So that stands up there. The delivery process was dead simple. They shipped it from their factory up to here. It was easy to bring in, much easier than getting some furniture company to come bring in a mattress. That was simple. The price was great. And they have a 100-day return policy, no questions asked. They will take the mattress back and refund your money after 100 days if you don't like it. So my advice to anyone is, if you have a mattress and you like it, you should probably keep it. But if you're in the market for a mattress, I would recommend trying the Casper. I think with the 100-day return policy and the fact that they've kind of made this as mild for as many people, I've really enjoyed it. And I think for the price, it's absolutely worth trying because you're going to pay a lot more for something comparable. And again, it's so convenient. They ship it to your house, and if you don't like it, they actually send somebody to your house to pick it up. I mean, the service is crazy. So, it's CasperSleep.com. If you're interested in a mattress, I recommend you try it out. So far, so good for me, but your results may vary. Wonderful. That was the Casper mattress. Another great example of my frivolous spending on things I don't always need. And we're going to continue that trend where we talk about the next pick. This one comes from me, and it is of the Pebble Steel smartwatch. I've got mine on right here. Look at that. It is, we've talked a lot of this year on smartwatches. I finally made the plunge and purchased one, and I gave my review of a watch that I absolutely love, still love to this day, the Pebble Steel smartwatch. This was from our October 20th show, our 67th. Here is my review of the Pebble Steel. I've teased this literally now. This is the third week. I'm finally going to review it. It is Pebble Watch.
Level Patch.
I know. I've had this for about 3 weeks. If you're not familiar, Pebble was that Kickstarter that raised like $1 gajillion to make a e-ink smartwatch back before smartwatches were cool. And they're still selling them, which is good news. I really wanted to try a smartwatch, and I don't have an Android device, and I didn't want to wait for the Apple Watch. Especially because the Apple Watch is $400 minimum. So I decided I was going to try the Steel. So this is the Pebble Steel. It is $199. You can also get the Pebble Classic, which is plastic, and is $99, which is really great value. It is a e-ink display about, what is it, I think it's 1 1/4, 1.5 inches. And here you go. I'll put it up to the camera so y'all can kind of see. Quickly, what I like, it is exactly what I want. This to me is a smartwatch. Apple and Android are computers on your wrist, and this literally, I don't know, maybe I'll put one of you guys to the task if you want to send me a message on some kind of platform, Facebook, Snapchat, something. We'll show a notification.
Some kind of platform.
A platform. MMS, SMS. You can call me. Notifications are obviously the big highlight here. Really great. Buzz your wrist. 2 clicks to dismiss them. It dismisses them not only on watch, on the phone. I can't tell you how much I love being able to glance at notifications on your wrist. You don't think it's a big deal, but it really is. All right, come on, watch. I see it on my phone. Oh my god, why didn't it go off? Oh no, it didn't work. It's really embarrassing. I've actually had
does it have a bad word filter on it, Sean?
Dan, there are much worse words. Oh man, why isn't this doing it? Ah, damn it. I just updated to iOS 8.1 and I hope it didn't screw something up. Anyway, it normally shows notifications. Right on the display, like I said, it's 1 tap to get away. It also has apps. So for example, I will show you in the ESPN is an example. So there's your ESPN app. It shows you sports scores for the sports. All sorts of sports. It also has fitness tracking stuff in it, which is cool. They just activated that. That's one of the things I really like is Pebble actually is actively developing. Since I've owned this watch, they pushed 2 major updates, including adding fitness tracking and background app updates, both in literally 3 weeks.
Does that work with is there a Pebble app that works with, or is that like a HealthKit thing?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So the fitness tracking syncs through the Pebble app to third party. So like Up from Jawbone has an app. Misfit has an app. It uses those and syncs to their service through the Pebble app. So you have a Pebble app on your smartphone where you can load and unload watch faces and apps. And manage your Pebble right from here. Now it does background app updates, which is really great. You don't have to do anything. You can have up to 8 apps at a time. I mean, just to put it simply, here's my kind of default watch face there for you. Got the time and the date and the temperature and the weather. It's just a really nice watch. I never used this thinking I wish this were in color. I wish the screen were bigger. I wish this had more features. I never, ever say that. And I think that is a really great testament to the design and the thought process behind this watch. Because I thought about it, and all the things they show you in the Android Wear commercials and stuff, I don't do those things. Like, I'm never going to talk into my watch and ask for directions. That's just not the kind of thing I would do. That's why I really like this. And the other thing, they promise like an absurd 5 to 7 days of battery life, and they're exactly right. Honestly, like, I was surprised. The battery lasts for fucking ever. It's excellent. Downside, software can be a little buggy. I've been having some Bluetooth issues in the last day. I'm sure it'll go away. I'm hoping. And the other problem is, because it's not Apple or Android, it's not meant to work with their operating systems. So you don't get the full functionality you do when it's actually from the manufacturer. So it's a lot of workarounds. It's a lot of, we can do this. We wish we could do more, but iOS doesn't let us. We can't access this, that, or the other thing. That's kind of your downside there. And at $199, some might consider that pricey. Like I said, the plastic is available at $99. My recommendation, I friggin' love this thing. I don't know how I lived without it. And it is the perfect accessory to my new big phone. So, Pebble Steel, getpebble.com. Try it out. I really want Apple Watch. There, I said it. I went there. Very good. That was the Pebble Steel. That's 2 back-to-back hardware picks, so I guess that means we have to move on to software. And one piece of software I think all three of us agree is a great tool every person should know about, a password management software. We've talked on the show about a couple of them, and here Colby picked his personal favorite, 1Password. He picked it on our 69th episode back on November 3rd, and here he is talking about one of the best ways to manage your passwords online, 1Password.
So my iPhone came last week, which was exciting.
Does this mean I can iMessage you again?
Yeah, I'm back in blue, man. So that's one of my picks is iMessage, because except for that time when I tried to get an Android phone and it kept hijacking my text messages from people, it's pretty great. It's the greatest ever. And is now even greater because I can send, today for the first time, I sent a green text message from the Messages app on my Mac, and that was pretty cool. So that was fun. So that's my first pick. And my other pick is 1Password. So this was, again, prompted by my getting an iPhone, and also kind of by the fact that at work we have, like, I don't know, the company has like a site license for 1Password. So I'd been using it on my Mac for work stuff. And then, like, you know, for the last 2 or 3 years, I've used LastPass. And, like, LastPass is, I mean, it's functional. It used to be cool. I originally chose it because it had, like, the cross-device syncing stuff. So it was kind of, like, semi-cloud based. So it would sync.
Right, you didn't have to set up your Vault and put it on your, like, CalDAV server and all that crap.
Right.
It just worked.
So I was like, that's why I chose it originally. But then I got an iPhone and I have, like, Touch ID, and it's super fucking cool, and I can just fingerprint stuff, and it's crazy. But then, like, the LastPass app doesn't work with Touch ID, and
yeah, I don't understand. They said it did, but it, like, there's a setting for it, but it doesn't do anything.
Maybe it does, but I obviously can't figure out how I'm supposed to use it. And it's just like, the app's not that great.
Yeah.
Like, it works, but so I tried the LastPass app for iPhone is free. It's like free with an in-app purchase for certain features. For, like, it's like multiple vaults and, like, folders and things. But it's perfectly usable if you don't want to pay for the in-app features, which is cool. So I downloaded it and I was using it, and I was like, and so two things led to my being like, all right, screw LastPass, I'm going to use this. One of which is that it supports Touch ID, and the other of which is that you can now sync over either iCloud or Dropbox. So 1Password just stores your vault in like a file in your Dropbox, and you can point your like other instances of 1Password at that file, and it just works. Like nothing bad happened. It literally just works. I haven't had any problems doing it. So yeah, it's been really cool, and the iPhone app is really nice, and it has a bunch of like integrations in like it's in Safari, so you can autofill into Safari and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you're looking to change it up from LastPass or get on that password manager boat, which you probably should,
Yeah.
check it out.
All right, we're going to keep this pick train a-rolling. We've got a couple more to go here in our Pick Fest 2014. Coming up next is Dan with a Twitter account he's a particular fan of. We've talked a lot this year about different Twitter accounts we enjoy. This one came from Dan. It's Portmanteau Bot, kind of smashing words together. It's a fun kind of autocorrect type pick of his. Here he's talking about a Twitter account that Dan particularly enjoys. So, Dan, why don't you explain?
The Twitter thing first. It's twitter.com/portmanteaubot, which is hard to spell. It is twitter.com/portmanteau_bot. Now, what this is these are words that conjoin, like conjoin twins and combine together seamlessly. That's a portmanteau. So you see words like this all the time. I wonder if there's an example on Wikipedia. Let's see. Oxbridge is like short for Oxford and Cambridge. Religulous, turducken. These are all portmanteaus. But this is an auto-generating bot of portmanteaus, and it comes up with really brilliant ones like someone-upmanship, tromboneless, turtleneckless. They're all so good. And it posts one per hour. Paradice, where dice is spelled D-I-C-E. Complaintative. Mayhem line.
Head cheesecake.
Yeah, head cheesecake. Dartboard room. It's another good one.
Wow.
The Sweet Heartbreak. Hellfire Storm.
Mainframe work.
Mainframe work. I retweeted that one earlier for our Marist buddies. Internship building.
Fun.
I want to make an
Buccaneer
automated
sighted.
Twitter account.
You got to do a spoonerism one.
Yeah,
It's not,
that's true.
you do the... Oh, an automated spoonerism one?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like, where would I get the words from?
What is it? /Etsy/dictionary? I didn't know this existed, but there is a text file on Unix computers that contains every word.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But I feel like the thing with spoonerisms is it like you need like a pair of words.
Well, there's
got
to be a list of like common phrases or I don't know. This sounds like a lot of work. Jeez.
It does.
Ugh.
That's why I haven't done it yet.
My, how the time flies. That is 8 picks we've gone through. We've got one left for the year. This one comes from Colby. It is another video game pick, and that would be Far Cry 4. He picked this back on December 1st, just in time for Christmas on our 72nd episode. Let's take a listen to Colby talking about why he enjoys the fun of Far Cry 4.
And my other pick is Far Cry 4, which I probably played for like 20 hours since last week.
Wow.
It's really satisfying. It's like what I wanted, what I hoped. It's like what I hoped Destiny would be. I think. It's like the story is like okay, but really you like drive around in a wide range of vehicles and shoot people with a wide range of guns, and it's really fun. And I'm still having a blast, and I've explored like a quarter of the map, so there's a lot going on, and it's just fun, like good clean shooting people in the head with arrows fun.
Yeah, good and clean.
And I still like someday, so you can do like co-op with your friends and do stuff, and eventually Dan will get past the point in the single player campaign where you can start doing co-op, and then we'll be able to play together. So we'll report back on how that is. But it is fun. There's like, I don't know. It's just fun. Like, I don't know, like there are explosive arrows, and when you shoot trucks with explosive arrows, they frequently like just flip over and stuff. It's really satisfying. You can drive around and like hit people with cars, and there's a wingsuit so you can jump off cliffs and like it's just like anything. There are no annoying parts. Like if you want, you can fast travel, but it's way more fun to drive the cars around.
Wow.
There's also like a mini one-person helicopter. It's a blast. And I'm like a quarter into the game. Like, as far as I know, there's more coming. So I don't know. It's definitely worth. I haven't played. Well, I probably played this much Destiny since Destiny came out, but like other than that, I haven't gotten this much mileage about any of the games I bought for PS4.
Wonderful. Well, that is our last pick of the evening. I want to thank Colby and Dan for a fantastic year for Don't Panic. We picked well over 100 things, so narrowed them down to 9 for all of you out there. We hope you enjoyed them and took something away from it. We appreciate all of our fans being with us throughout the year in 2014. I want to make sure I mention that 2015 is going to be a big year for the show. We've got a lot of exciting things planned, including in early January, we're going to kick things off with our CES coverage. We go back to live regular news episodes on January 5th. We do those shows live Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on our website, don'tpanic.io. You can also get the show on demand at our website as well as on YouTube, and subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, and via RSS. Of course, at Don't Panic Show on Twitter as well. And feel free to shoot us any kind of questions. Twitter's a great place to do that. You can also send it to don'tpanicshow@gmail.com. Took me a minute to think of that, but I finally got it. Thank you all for joining us on our pick-centric episode this year. We look forward to great things in 2015. This show is brewed fresh weekly by the Coffee and Beer Podcast Network. Get all our shows at our website, coffeeandbeer.tv.